Karen screamed, "You're trespassing!" the moment my truck crossed onto land my grandfather owned for 60 years. She blocked my driveway with her golf cart, waving a fake HOA map like a weapon against me. I didn't know yet that her tantrum would end with sheriffs, forged deeds, and her own board turning against her.
I'm Sarah Coyle.
34. A nurse who just inherited Grandpa Earl's 40-acre ranch after his passing that spring. The ranch sat just outside Ridgeview Estates, the gated community where Karen Voss ruled as HOA president for years. Grandpa always joked the HOA wanted his land but he'd never sign, calling their fence line pure greed. Karen had tried buying the ranch twice. Both times Grandpa refused, saying some things weren't for sale. Locals whispered Ridgeview needed more land for a clubhouse expansion, and Karen's name kept surfacing in those rumors. I moved in with my 2 kids, excited for open sky, chickens, and quiet mornings away from the city. Within a week, Karen appeared at my fence, clipboard in hand, informing me of mandatory HOA regulations. "This property is under Ridgeview jurisdiction," Karen announced, though my deed clearly listed county land, not HOA territory. I showed her Grandpa's original survey. She waved it off, insisting her paperwork superseded old documents. She left a notice demanding I paint my barn approved beige within 30 days or face daily fines. I laughed, assuming it was a mistake, until a certified letter arrived threatening a lien on my property. I called the county assessor, who confirmed the ranch had never been part of any homeowners association. Karen didn't apologize. Instead, she posted in the neighborhood app calling me uncooperative and a liability. Neighbors I'd never met started messaging me, repeating Karen's claims that my animals violated community aesthetic standards. I invited Karen for coffee, hoping to clear things up, but she brought 2 board members and cameras. "We just want harmony," she said sweetly, while quietly recording every word I said for documentation. She demanded I remove my chicken coop, calling it livestock nuisance despite zoning that clearly allowed agriculture. I refused, citing my legal rights, and she smiled coldly, saying, "We'll see how long you last." That week, my mailbox was knocked over twice, and Karen blamed vandals from outside the community. A drone hovered over my property daily, and I later learned Karen's son operated it for her. She filed a formal complaint with the county, claiming my well-contaminated Ridgeview's shared water table. An inspector came out, tested everything, and found 0 contamination, embarrassing Karen in front of her own board. Instead of backing down, she doubled efforts, telling residents I was hiding something from official inspection. My daughter came home crying because kids repeated their mother's words, calling our family trespassers at school. I confronted Karen directly. She denied spreading rumors, though her Facebook post said otherwise, screenshots proving everything. She threatened legal action for harassment, which stunned me since she was the one instigating conflict daily. A quiet neighbor, Mr. Okafor, pulled me aside, warning that Karen had done this to others before. He mentioned a previous family who sold their land cheap just to escape her relentless HOA pressure. That night, I found private property, HOA-only signs staked illegally along my own fence line. I ripped them down, photographed everything, and started a folder labeled Karen Voss Incident Log. For 2 weeks, things went quiet, and I almost believed Karen had finally accepted defeat gracefully. I focused on renovating Grandpa's barn, teaching my kids to ride his old horse, Biscuit. Neighbors like Mr. Okafor started visiting, sharing vegetables, welcoming us properly into the wider community's actual spirit. I let myself relax, thinking maybe the county's inspection results had shut Karen's campaign down for good. Then I noticed surveyors on my land one morning, hired, they claimed, by Ridgeview Estates Development Committee. My stomach dropped when I recognized Karen watching from her golf cart, smiling like she'd already won.
I morgstover?
Demanding answers, Karen claimed the survey was routine boundary confirmation, nothing to worry about. I called the surveyor company directly, who admitted Karen paid privately, without any county or legal authorization whatsoever. Furious, I filed a police report for trespassing, the same accusation she'd falsely thrown at me first. Karen retaliated by convincing the board to vote my property ineligible for the community's shared irrigation line. That irrigation line, I discovered, actually ran through an easement Grandpa had legally granted decades earlier. Without water access, my garden and animals suffered, and Karen's smugness grew with every dry, wilting stem. I hired a lawyer, who found Karen's easement termination had zero legal standing, purely her personal decision. My lawyer sent a formal letter. Karen responded by mailing every resident a warning flyer about me. The flyer claimed I was suing innocent homeowners, twisting facts to paint herself as the victim instead. Some neighbors believed her outright, while others quietly reached out, apologizing for the growing, ugly mess. One resident, Dana, secretly showed me board meeting minutes proving Karen pushed the ranch annexation for months. The minutes revealed a hidden clause. Ridgeview planned a resort clubhouse if they acquired Grandpa's 40 acres. Karen stood to profit personally, since her husband's construction company was named as the exclusive contractor. I finally understood. This was never about fences or paint. It was about money and pure greed. Armed with proof, I requested to speak at the next official Ridgeview HOA board meeting myself. Karen tried blocking my request, claiming non-members couldn't address internal community business under any circumstances whatsoever. Dana, brave enough now, motioned to override Karen's objection, and the board narrowly voted to let me speak. Karen's face went pale, realizing her carefully built narrative was about to unravel in front of everyone. The night before the meeting, someone released my dogs, and one nearly got hit on the road. I couldn't prove it was Karen, but the timing felt impossible to call mere coincidence anymore. At the meeting, Karen preemptively accused me of public harassment, trying to discredit me before I spoke. I calmly presented the survey invoice, the illegal irrigation shutoff, and the hidden clubhouse development clause. Gasps rippled through the room as residents realized Karen manipulated them for her family's personal financial gain. Karen snapped, screaming that the board owed her for years of unpaid volunteer service and sacrifice. She threatened to sue anyone who challenged her. Bit flying, voice cracking under sudden, desperate pressure. Security had to calm her down as she accused Dana of betraying the community for exposing documents. That night, my barn's water pump was sabotaged, wires cut deliberately, animals left without power overnight. Security footage, which Karen didn't know I'd installed, caught her son sneaking onto my property that night. I filed criminal charges immediately, refusing to let intimidation silence me any longer during this fight. Karen, panicking, tried bribing my elderly neighbor to testify that I'd threatened her family verbally instead. The neighbor refused, disgusted, and reported the bribery attempt directly to the sheriff's department himself. Karen's lawyer quietly withdrew from representing her, citing irreconcilable conflicts nobody publicly explained at the time. Rumors spread that Karen had forged signatures on annexation paperwork submitted to the county planning office. A county clerk confirmed several signatures didn't match residents' actual handwriting samples on file for years. Karen doubled down publicly, insisting it was a clerical error, despite mounting evidence proving deliberate fraud. Her husband's construction company suddenly withdrew from the clubhouse bid, distancing itself from the growing scandal. Even Karen's closest allies on the board stopped answering her calls, sensing the ship was sinking fast. The sheriff's office opened a full investigation into forged documents, sabotage, and illegal water line tampering. I received a subpoena to testify, gathering every photo, video, and document from months of harassment. Karen sent one final message. Not an apology, but a threat. You'll regret exposing this. Sarah. I forwarded the message straight to my lawyer and the detective handling the case against her. The community scheduled an emergency meeting to vote on Karen's removal as HOA president, effective immediately. News vans appeared outside Ridgeview's gates after a local reporter caught wind of the unfolding scandal. Karen refused interviews, hiding inside her house, curtains drawn. While protesters gathered near the entrance gate, Dana texted me, "It's happening tonight. The board finally has enough votes against her." I sat in my truck outside the clubhouse, hands shaking, waiting for the meeting to begin. Grandpa's ranch, I realized, had exposed years of quiet corruption nobody dared question until now. My kids asked if we'd have to move. I promised them we were finally, truly safe. I walked into the meeting room, Karen already seated, arms crossed, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. The board president read the charges aloud. Forged documents, sabotage, bribery, and illegal easement termination against residents. Karen stood abruptly, shouting that everyone was jealous of her leadership and dedication to the community. Detective Ramirez entered the room, confirming an active criminal investigation now included attempted witness tampering charges. Karen's voice cracked as she pointed at me, screaming, "This is your fault. You ruined everything." I stood calmly and said, "No. Karen, you did this to yourself. One lie at a time." She lunged toward the projector screen, trying to rip down the evidence displayed for everyone present. Security restrained her gently as she screamed about lawsuits, conspiracies, and people out to destroy her. Her own husband, sitting in the back, quietly stood up and walked out without saying a word. The board called an immediate vote. Every hand except Karen's own rose to remove her instantly. Karen collapsed into her chair, sobbing, realizing the empire she built was crumbling in real time. Detective Ramirez formally arrested Karen outside the clubhouse, cuffs clicking as neighbors watched in stunned silence. Charges included forgery, criminal trespassing, tampering with utilities, and attempted bribery of a witness. Her son was charged separately for trespassing and sabotage, both released pending their upcoming court dates. The county voided every forged annexation document, permanently confirming Grandpa's ranch remained outside HO jurisdiction forever. Karen's husband filed for divorce within the month, publicly distancing himself from her mounting legal troubles. The HOA board issued a formal apology to me, restoring my irrigation access within 48 hours. Dana was elected interim president, promising transparency after years hidden under Karen's manipulative, controlling leadership. Local news covered Karen's conviction months later, sentencing her to probation, fine, and community service hours. Ironically, her community service included mandatory participation in the very association she'd once ruled unfairly. I finally painted Grandpa's barn red, exactly how he'd always wanted it, free from any HOA interference. Neighbors who once believed Karen's lies now bring vegetables, apologies, and genuine friendship to our gate. Grandpa's ranch stands untouched, proof that truth outlasts tyranny. And no Karen owns land she never bought. Fendi.